This week, I decided to replay one of my all-time favorite games, Deus Ex. I was casually streaming my playthrough over on my Discord server, and pretty much the only people who stuck around for more than about 5 minutes were people who were already fans of the game. Constantly over the course of the stream, people would join in, ask what game I was playing, and decide that they weren't interested after 5 minutes. Now, I don't blame them. A game like this is much better to play than it is to watch. But the whole time I was just thinking to myself, how could you not want to stick around for this? It's so unique and cool. But whether it's the graphics or the slow pace of the gameplay or the meme status that this game has gotten, people just weren't really appreciating this game like they used to. So I figured that this would be a great game to start my new series with. Just a quick little recommendation without all the spoilers and emotional baggage of my normal videos. So what makes this game so cool? Well, a lot of the magic of this game can be found in a bunch of older games that were coming out around the time. This really complicated gameplay that somehow makes itself pretty easy to understand, these awesome environments that strike a great balance between giving you a believable world while still leaving plenty to the imagination, and this hands-off approach to your objectives and progression that really makes it feel like an accomplishment every time you progress. You aren't just following a quest log in a game like this, you're paying attention and trying to make your decisions as informed as possible. I mean, I'm about 12 hours into this playthrough, and I've only checked my objective list about 4 times. This sort of stuff can be found in a ton of RPGs and immersive sims from the era that spawned this game, but there's one more thing that makes this game special, and it's something that I haven't seen done so well in any other game. It's what elevates this game from classic to legendary in my book, but we'll save that for the ending. For now, let's focus on that first point. So, really complicated gameplay that turns out to be pretty easy to understand. I'm sure I've been editing this to make it look a bit more cinematic, but if you watch 5 minutes of uninterrupted gameplay footage, you'll instantly understand what I mean. Right from the get-go, you're greeted by this kind of daunting menu where you have to decide how you're going to allocate your skill points. Hacking, bypassing, lockpicking, pistols, rifles, low-tech weapons, the list goes on, and it kind of leaves your head spinning. Really, the whole game is like this. There's always a new thing to learn about, be it a weapon or the different applications of the augmentations you have or new uses of your equipment. You're always learning and theory crafting in this game, and there's a very good reason that this game just throws you into the deep end right in the beginning. It forces you to improvise and be creative, and that's the whole fun of immersive sims. Deus Ex isn't a game where you hunt for an optimal playstyle like in Doom Eternal or Dark Souls or anything. It's a game where you search instead for a solution, any solution, as long as it gets you where you need to be. It's all a big puzzle game, and you don't necessarily have all the pieces, so you're just gonna have to make it work. Take right here for instance. I needed to disable this camera for just a few seconds, but I was all out of EMP grenades and multi-tools, so I used my drone ability, which is mainly for spying on enemies and checking dangerous corners, to fly up close to the camera, and I detonated the drone, creating an EMP field that disabled the camera for a few seconds. Or hey, combat in general. You can go through most of this game non-lethally, but it isn't going to be clean like your typical Dishonored no-kills run. It's going to be messy and hectic and dangerous. See, you've got this crossbow that can be loaded with tranquilizer darts, but look at what happens when I shoot someone with it. It isn't instantaneous. Sometimes you can pepper a guy with 3 or 4 darts and he'll go down before he gets to an alarm, but what about when there are multiple enemies and you don't want to alert the whole base to gunfire? Well, we can run up and pepper spray the both of them so that they're stunned, then hit them with the tranq darts, then keep on pepper spraying so that they're stuck there, rubbing their eyes long enough for the tranquilizer to kick in. Or you can fire a rocket or move some TNT in front of a door that you don't want to waste your lockpicks on, or reprogram a security system to target enemies, giving you a distraction so you can slip past them, or plant a gas grenade as a mine to slow down enemies just before you do something that's going to draw attention. The possibilities really do seem endless, and you'll discover more and more experimental tactics like these as you progress. You're just constantly expanding your abilities in this game, and it's great. Combined with these worlds and that handoff approach to mission design where an objective will be something as simple as find your way on board the ship, it really makes you feel like you've just been dropped off into this living, breathing world, and everything that happens after that is on you. There are no handouts in a game like this. You have to make your own plans, and that just isn't how it goes in the vast majority of games. The end result of this is this incredible sense of agency and accomplishment. Nobody told you how to get on that ship, you were observant and you thought about your options, and you fit that square peg into that round hole. It's fantastic stuff, and I think Deus Ex does it better than any of the others, but a lot of the games from this era had similar design philosophies, so what really separates Deus Ex from the rest? Why is this game legendary? You know, a lot of people have asked me to make a proper Leadhead video on Deus Ex, and frankly I'd love to, but I honestly don't think I'm smart enough, at least not when it comes to politics. Deus Ex is an incredibly political game. It's about classism, the plutocracy, the ever-widening divide between the rich and everyone else. It's about what happens when the powers that be decide that they want more power. These are all themes that can be found in a ton of other games: Cyberpunk, Half-Life 2, Fallout, GTA 5, Metal Gear Solid, just to name a few. That part of it is nothing new, but here's the difference. Those games are all focused on hypotheticals, or surface-level critique of power-hungry CEOs. Deus Ex, however, well, it's mostly real. Now, I won't say that the unemployment rates, worldwide consolidation, effective tax rates, lobbyism, and a decline in global self-employment rates are all part of some millennium-old Illuminati conspiracy or anything, but these are real things that affect everybody in the world, and Deus Ex lays those things out in clear, understandable terms that can reach even me, a self-proclaimed political layabout. Over the course of this game, we unfold this conspiracy that starts with a bit of bribing and leads all the way up to... Well, this is supposed to be a spoiler-free video, so I'll leave that for you to discover, but every single step of the way, we're being told fairly accurate approximations of truth that strike at the core of this inherent fear that I think just about everyone has of the powers that be. Here's an encounter you have about 30 minutes into the game.
It's all in the numbers. For 100 years, there's been a conspiracy of plutocrats against ordinary people.
You have a single fact to back that up.
Number one, in 1945, corporations paid 50% of federal taxes. Now they pay about 5%. Number two, in 1900, 90% of Americans were self-employed. Now it's about 2%.
So?
It's called consolidation. Strengthen governments and corporations, weaken individuals. With taxes, this can be done imperceptibly over time.
To put it simply, this game will make you care about tax rates, while from your perspective, all you really did was infiltrate some government laboratory in this ridiculously fun game. Other games have communicated similar messages, but again, they always do so with hypotheticals, creating an intentionally vague anti-establishment metaphor. What if the government was developing an AI to censor fake news and guide humanity to its vision? But Deus Ex, well, this game describes in pretty clear detail so many of the things that are really going on and that you should care about. It gives all of these problems a face, and it lets you punch that face until your knuckles bleed. So if you're a regular, you've probably noticed that I'm currently doing something I've almost never done before, talking over the credits. Well, this new series of mine, You Should Really Play, is appealing to me for exactly that sort of reason. Sometimes I succeed, sometimes I fail, but I really try to make every video I do its own little work of art, something that'll send chills down your spine and make you think super seriously about things. This takes time and energy that I can't spare each week. And I feel like the focus on emotion in my personal life has kind of drawn me away from what you all subscribe to this channel for, video games. So basically, I'm going to be doing my normal videos every other week, and one of these, simpler to produce recommendation videos, are going to come between. This will free up a lot of my time and help me have a much healthier creative life than I had before, and I'll get to turn you guys on to some of my favorite games that wouldn't necessarily fit with a normal Leadhead video. I'm still nailing down the format, but I hope you've enjoyed. Oh, and if you decide to get this game, you don't need any mods, but you should get the custom launcher Deus Ex. If you know what a zip file is, you have enough computer knowledge to install it. Oh, and I would also like to go ahead and verbally thank my patrons, especially those who are donating $10 or more monthly, such as Ada Avery, Almost Dead Again, Anatoly Volnov, Andrew Melnick, Antoine DeGuet, Benny, Big Time Jim, Bobby Blitz, CJ Keene, Chompy Uwu, Christopher Pinar, Colin Gajic, Cosmo Borski, Darius Fazier, David Kaiser, Dennis Voschakimer, Dominic Johan, Duncan Bristow, Fralum, Giles Backers, iDubbbz, IJK, Jack Eisenberg, Jano, Kale Graybill, Crit, Laffy, Mello, Mixer Rules, Neurofilter, Raptor, Robert, Scotty from Marketing, CeeLo, Tanman, Vivian Cox, Vladimir's Norholm, William T, Kain Vo, Yemen Shi, Zoe Nish, and Zyrobly. I pretty much said all I have to say in that outro sequence, so again, have a great week.